I think if this technology goes wrong, it can go quite wrong.
The CEO of OpenAI, the startup behind ChatGPT, warned a Senate panel on Tuesday about his fears that artificial intelligence could cause what he called significant harm to the world, and zeroed in on AI as a tool to sow falsehoods and undermine free and fair elections.
It's one of my areas of greatest concern, the more general ability of these models to manipulate, to persuade, to provide sort of one-on-one interactive disinformation. I think that's like a broader version of what you're talking about, but given that we're going to face an election next year and these models are getting better, I think this is a significant area of concern.
For months, companies large and small have raced to bring increasingly versatile AI to market, throwing endless data and billions of dollars at the challenge. But backers of the technology acknowledge the potential downside.
Humanity has taken a back seat.
New York University professor and AI researcher Gary Marcus called on the entire scientific community to play a role in monitoring and improving the use of the technology.
AI is moving incredibly fast with lots of potential, but also lots of risks. We obviously need government involved, and we need the tech companies involved, both big and small. But we also need independent scientists, not just so that we scientists can have a voice, but so that we can participate directly in addressing the problems and evaluating solutions. And not just after products are released, but before.
Those warnings appear to have resonated with some U.S. lawmakers. Here's Democratic Senator Dick Durbin.
Thank you. I think what's happening today in this hearing room is historic. I can't recall when we've had people representing large corporations or private sector entities come before us and plead with us to regulate them.
But it's unclear what sort of regulation might be in the works. Altman suggested that, in general, the U.S. should consider licensing and testing requirements for development of AI models.
My worst fears are that the field, the technology, the industry, cause significant harm to the world. I think that could happen in a lot of different ways. We want to work with the government to prevent that from happening, but we try to be very clear-eyed about what the downside case is and the work that we have to do to mitigate that.
While several senators at the hearing said they view AI as a technological second chance to put in place common-sense measures to protect Americans, something they failed to do with social media.
Email exchanges from inside the BBC, they talk about the risk of violating Indian laws. It's easier to rake up the freedom of speech debate, but does it give anyone a free pass to knowingly violate the law? America supports India because it needs India's support in return. And India is working with the US because it suits India's interests. This is how geopolitics works. Last night, he diffused a crisis with his defense minister. But today, Netanyahu was confronted with a new problem. His cabinet seems to have rebelled against him. The UK is looking at the Indian subcontinent to fill its coffers. That India seems to be negotiating from a position of power, like a partner and not a former colony.